Another one bites the dust. Another one
So,
bites.
Bo, I don't think you're familiar with this, mate. This Sony bought a game studio called Firewalk Studios, and then they spent about $200 million on a game that had already had about $200 million or something spent on it up until that point as well. So it had about $400 million spent on it, right? To produce this. This is a character from the game, by the way. This is like peak 2024. And they released it. It's called Concord, and they released it. Sony released it.
All right.
And it got shut down within a week. All games were refunded.
Yeah, 10 days.
And within 10 days, all games were refunded. So they've made zero money, exactly zero money. In fact, they would have lost money from those refunds.
Plus the marketing campaign that they spent.
Plus the marketing campaign. And understandably, they shut down that studio.
Yeah, which they paid, which they reportedly paid like $400 million for in and of itself.
Fuck's sake! What are you doing, Tony?
How was it that bad that they refunded everyone? How was it? How's that sort of possible?
Because nobody could play the game. Yeah. It was so unpopular from the very beginning because of the ideological bologna sausage that they shoved in it. By the way, that Sony shoved in it. The game was nearly complete when they bought the studio. Yeah. By the way, the character's name is Daw, and their speciality is intensive care. I believe it. Look at the size of that waistline. Dude's headed to the hospital for a coronary surgery.
Is it a dude? I can't tell.
Yeah,
I don't know. I don't know. Well, this game is androgynous. I mean, despite the enormous mons pubis here, it's insanity. So yeah,
you said what? Despite their pubis,
their mons pubis. Yes, that's that area below their belly. You should know this. Did I say it wrong?
No. Let me educate you.
Okay, please. Let's do it right here on the
show. You all right? I'll educate you all.
All right.
And if it gets a laugh out of anyone, super chat. That's called a gunt. where the gut merges with the cunt. All right? Called a gunt.
Or fupa. Someone in the chat's because of fupa. Yeah, right, that's just a horrible character. Why would anyone...
That's awful.
It's mad, isn't it? We live in a mad world.
My medical term was accurate. Okay.
Oh, mate, what?
It is. I want people not to realize I'm not wrong. I said it properly.
All right, yeah.
It's technically the pubic mound, if you would prefer to refer to it that way.
All right. Well, so basically, in a post to the Sony Interactive Entertainment website, Holst wrote, as part of our ongoing efforts to strengthen SIE's studio business, we have had to make a difficult decision relating to two of our studios, Neon Koi and Firewalk Studios. I bet it was not difficult.
No.
I bet it was the easiest one ever. What one did we lose? Hundreds of millions of... fuck that one off. Let's go. Done. Regarding Firewalk, as announced in early September, an important update on Concord, certain aspects of Concord were exceptionally shit. But others did not land with enough players, and as a result, we took the game offline. We spent considerable time these past few months exploring all of our options. After much thought, we've determined the best path forward is to permanently sunset the game and close the studio. I want to thank all of Firewalk for their craftsmanship, creative spirit, and dedication. Look at this! What is this?
Wow.
The PvP, first-person shooter genre, is a competitive space that's continuously evolving. And unfortunately, we did not hit our targets with this title. We will take the lessons learned from Concord and continue to advance our live service capabilities to deliver future growth in this area. I know none of this is easy to hear. Oh, we love it. Particularly with colleagues and friends departing SIE. Both decisions were given serious thought. Definitely wasn't. And ultimately, we feel they are the right ones to strengthen the organization. Neon Koi and Firewalk were home to many talented individuals, and we will work to find placement for some of those impacted within our global community of studios where possible. Look at the state of this.
Oh, That's where that. Did you see in real life about 2 weeks ago? A cop shot a black woman in a lobby in the corridor of a hotel because
Oh,
Oh
yeah, I
yeah,
saw
yeah,
that. Yeah. Who
like,
was coming at her with the knife?
well, she cracked face in that, and he shot her
Yeah.
down.
yeah. Pretty brutal.
So we're saying it was. I didn't realize it was from this game, but yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yes. So somebody actually put it to Doom music and
Oh
sound
my
effects,
god.
and it
Should
was
put it to like Unreal
hilarious.
Tournament
Yeah.
or Quake. Quake. So he concluded, I'm a big believer in the benefits of embracing creative experimentation and developing new IP. However, growing through sustainable financials, especially in a challenged economic environment, is critical. While today is a difficult day, there is much to look forward to in the months ahead from the Studio Business Group and our teams. I remain confident that we are building a resilient and capable organization driven by creating unforgettable entertainment experiences for our players. Look at the fucking state of this. Look at the state of this. Look, literally, couldn't even break 1,000 players.
Now, mind you,
That's crazy.
you have to have a certain number of players to even start a game. So there was like sometimes as much as 9 minutes between games. And sometimes even with the forced crossplay, which means they had to force people on Xboxes, PlayStations, and any of the other things that were commingled there. They had to force them all into the same queue so that they could do it at all. With 43 players, you were running 4 games on millions of dollars worth of equipment.
That's fun, isn't it? Like, it makes you think in all sorts of ways. It's difficult to fail that hard at something, right? When you see someone's got a tweet and it's like got 300,000 views and 40 likes. It's like, it's difficult to be that bad.
Yeah, it's a skill.
Yeah, right.
Yep.
Not one that they want or are proud of.
Like, do you know when I think this more when I was at school, secondary school, there were some kids that were sort of kind of effortlessly cool. They didn't try to be cool and they just sort of were. There are other kids that whatever they did, whatever they tried was a failure at being cool, at attempting something that people liked or were drawn to. They just didn't have it, whatever it was. Seems like the people that designed this game, looking at the characters and stuff, they're people that have got no concept of what's likable, of what's cool, right? You come up with that character, like you're out of your mind. You're way, way off the mark. You're like so far off the mark that you don't know. You're living on a different planet. You're on a different planet. Do you remember that at school? There's these kids that are just irredeemably weirdos. You don't want to bully them, but everyone, even the kids that get bullied, end up bullying this kid.
Even the teachers
right?
know.
It's like, even the teachers. Yeah,
literally, even the teachers are like,
yeah. I feel like they're the people that designed this game with those kids.
Yeah, bring back bullying, bring back shame. Society regulates itself with shame and bullying.
Yeah,
it really does,
and it builds character. I think everybody at some point in life, when they're a kid or even teenage years, was bullied or heckled in some way, shape, form, or fashion. Maybe more so some than others, but everybody goes through crap like that. And
well, not all of them get preferential treatment in joining a game studio for a job they're unqualified for, much like Bo at State Street.
End
up doing a self-insert of themselves. So there's this massive, out of shape, hulking being that is depicted in the most inappropriate and unattractive way. And not resonating with anybody. But the bigger news here isn't necessarily the I got bullied as a kid game developers. It's the fact that this adds 2 more studios that have been shut down this year, bringing the total to 15.
That's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah. And Firewalk was, by all accounts, fairly large. With I think overall today between the 2 studios, they lost just under 200 workers from these two studios. So and most of the work that was done at the very end, the tail end of this game for the last 2 years to 18 months, was done by outside sources. in order to get it finished. That tells you have a lot of very unqualified people in a game studio, because at that point now, they had been over, I don't know, maybe 4 to 6 years in development on this game, maybe more. There's a lot of arguments about when it actually began, but probably Monsters spun up this studio to produce this specific game, and according to most, it had been to where it needed to be just for the final leg of the run before when Sony acquired them, they massively changed the direction of the game, which is why we ended up with Checkbox Mafia game, failure. And that's the issue. Well, I talk about games a lot because I obviously run a gaming channel with Jonas J. Campbell, but the team over there works hard on all these stories, and we haven't worked harder on a story than this Concord one or the Ubisoft one. And the Ubisoft one, you're looking at a company that could, beat bankruptcy to going private. They're so desperate to not have the amount of disclosure of their failure financially that they are working very quickly towards, shoring things up for taking the company private. They're not even going to mind they may be forced to sell this off. And the problem is that the only buyer really seems to be ByteDance, who their CEO just joined officially today, China's rich list. Anyway, for what it's worth.
It's interesting, as many as 15 studios closing down. That speaks volumes, doesn't it, about the entire industry?
Well, but it goes back to the DEI and ESG, doesn't it?
Boom.
Yep.
Sorry.
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry, Bo. We talked right over you.
So I was just going to make one other quick point, just about, actually, just to mention again, that I was weeded out very quickly, or at the first possible opportunity when I worked for State Street. And that's right. That's the way it should be. I worked in private asset management and investment banking for the best part of 20 years. And I saw lots and lots and lots of people. That happened to lots and lots of people. They realize you're not really up to snuff. You're not up to scratch. And you're done. You're done. We'll get someone else. There are other people out there that are competent. And we need you to be competent in your role. You have to be. So if you're not, you're out. Goodbye. No apologies, sort of a thing. And it's very cutthroat, it's very, very brutal, but they make money, but they work as an organization. And so it looks like in the gaming industry across all sorts of things, Ubisoft, etc., that's exactly what isn't happening. That's exactly the process which isn't playing out. And as brutal as it is necessary. I don't blame State Street for doing what they did to me and loads of others. Last place I worked before I started working for Load Seaters, it was unbelievably brutal. Unbelievably brutal. If you made one or two mistakes, they're just like, you're done. Sorry. But the company was a smooth machine for making money, though, right?
That's what it should be. That's absolutely what it should be. Like meritocracy, right? Like if you're not cut out for the job role itself, you shouldn't be there. That's what society should be like. These various jobs. There's a job for someone out there. There's a job for someone, but not every single job is right for every single person. Yeah. But with these freaks in control, that's where you force this nonsense into play, and then you get these quotas, and that's how you get inefficient companies falling apart and disastrous quality control now.
Yep. It's almost like they forget the term "read the room" because they obviously can't read the room of their customers because they keep trying to do this kind of crap, and it keeps failing. I don't know when these companies are going to wake up to the fact. Just like Culture said, we've had a crap ton of studios shut down. Luminous Productions, for Spoken, was a complete disaster. They're gone. That company lasted a little less than 5 years. Ubisoft is a disaster. EA keeps copying and pasting most all their games every single year. Madden, the same game, trying to sell it, microtransactions. The customers are getting sick and tired of it, and they're not going to be paying for this stuff. There's so many good games out there that are old games, retro games at this point, that the library is huge for people out there, and they don't have to buy this crap that they're trying to push out there in today's modern time.
Better now as well, to be honest.
Yeah. Something Wicked. No, wait, no, it's No Rest for the Wicked, right? That studio. They're pumping out games that are not very expensive and people are enjoying. The studio that just did the latest Space Marine 2 game is ripping it up. Yeah, and Larian, believe it or not, Larian, who made Baldur's Gate 3 with all the weirdness that came with that, they're making fun of Ubisoft and everybody else for their stupid business models and everything else. So, look, the gaming industry is in full collapse at this point. Is in the broadest sense. Individually, some studios are in good shape and will remain so as long as they keep the corporate money out of it. The minute you go public, though, you're doomed. The minute you're put in a position to have somebody buy you out, you're doomed. You will no longer be able to maintain your identity, your culture, and the things that make what you do popular. So always, put a firm hand on, any of the investors that you bring in, because you want to make sure that you have the immediate option to remove their interest in your company. Because once you go public, you're at mercy. Oh, okay. I have a joke really quickly that goes along with this particular thing.
Go on.
You want to hear it?
Yeah.
Okay. What do you call two lesbians in a closet?
Sweet Baby Ink.
No, a liquor cabinet.
Okay.
Terrible.
We got a member chat from Olaf, our great wrench in the chat moderator. I've been a member for 24 months. Thank you so much. Two whole years. That's crazy. Says Concord was made for a modern audience, so 100 people bought it and did get refunded. Closed for the downfall of outlaws and dustborn. Go woke, go broke.
Yeah.
That's it. You make things for a modern audience who are the minority. Well, that's fine. You want to make it for them. That's your audience. It's not going to fucking get very far, is it?
Once again, for me, I'm really not joking about going back. Just going back, like I think I mentioned it before, but every 5 years or so, I'm happy to dig out the PS2 and run through San Andreas again.
Yeah.
Oh, great. You can get it on your phone now. Do you know
Can
that?
you? I didn't know
You
that.
can literally play San Andreas on your phone.
Yeah.
Or, again, almost without joking, get the NES out, a little bit of Duck Hunt.
Yeah.
Oh, mate.
With the old gun.
Amazing.
That was well
Yeah.
good. Yeah, hours of fun. Hours and
Duck
hours
Hunt
of
was
fun.
brilliant. That was super cool. Super cool. Well, there you go. Let's that about wraps up Firewalk Studios. Concord destroyed it. Just like two Concords. Cancelled.
Yeah.
Way.
The other one just was an engineering flaw.
Yeah. And nobody saw this coming.
Wait a minute.
No.
I think for 4 months I was saying this game is going to flop.
Yeah.
I think we all were, to be honest.
Yeah.
Harder than
Anyway.
Grandpa Ice Cream's dick.
All right. Well, there you go. Anyway,